Hi, I'm Carly Verhoeven, and I'm on King Street in Kitchener about to speak with Legacy Greens owner Jordan Dolson about her success of opening a produce store during iron construction. But first, let's take a look at some of the closures that are happening around the region. Conestoga at Northfield is open. Access to Kumpf from Northfield will remain closed until late September. Traffic on Northfield is maintained, as is access to Kumpf from Weber to Randall. The northbound on-ramp from Northfield to Highway 85 is open. The northbound and southbound off-ramps from Highway 85 to Northfield will remain closed until late 2016, as will the southbound on-ramp from Northfield to Highway 85. Weber in Dutton is open as underground utility work on Dutton near Ion's operations, maintenance, and storage facility continues. Lane closures will occur periodically on the railway crossings at Behringer, Columbia, and University to complete the installation of temporary and permanent railway signals. The Waterloo Park parking lot at Seagram is closed. The new parking lot on the north side of the railway track at Seagram is paved and open. Caroline and Erb is closed until late September. Two-way traffic is maintained on Caroline from Erb to Allen. King and Allen is closed until late September. Pedestrian access is still available. Uptown remains accessible using Caroline and Regina. As well, the pedestrian crossing on King is still maintained. King from William to Union, King and Allen, and King and Wellington will be closed until approximately late September. Two-way traffic is maintained from Louisa to Wellington. King from Union to Wellington will reopen to two-way traffic this week. King from Victoria to Moore is closed for construction of the King Street grade separation. Moore and King is closed until late October. Victoria from Duke to Joseph is closed until approximately late September. The detour is Weber to Water to Joseph. Duke and Francis by the Kaufman Lofts is now open, as well as King and Francis. Duke and Frederick is closed until approximately early November, while Frederick and King is closed until approximately early October. The detour is Cortland to Queen to Weber. Ottawa and Charles is open on a granular surface. Local access is maintained on Charles from Borden to Ottawa as LRT track is installed. Block line in Cortland remains closed. Two-way traffic is maintained on Cortland. The detour for block line is Manitou to Bleams to Homer Watson. Hayward at the railway tracks is closed until late 2016. Local traffic is maintained on Hayward up to the railway crossing. Wilson from Fairway to Kingsway is closed until approximately early September. Access to Fairview Park Mall and Shoppers Drug Mart will remain open from Fairway to Wilson during this time. Access to Wilson will be maintained via Weber to Franklin to Wilson. I also talked with people in the area to see if they've been shopping more or less since construction started.
For me, it's been fine because I've been walking, but I find it's a little bit dangerous on the sidewalks now because all the bikes are riding on the sidewalks, and there are lots of skateboards too. But I shop downtown anyway, so Legacy Greens is where I get most of my produce, and Shoppers is downtown, so everything's here.
In fact, it's good for the public because they have a lots of a plan. That's the reason why they are constructing so much. For future business, we got to take a little hit now. But however, if you really see the construction, more than 50%, it has stabbed our business.
I'm honestly only just sort of reaching a breaking point. Like, I've put my stroller through a lot this season, sort of bringing it through construction. But I live downtown, so I think it's really important to support downtown businesses.
I'm with Jordan Dolson, owner of Legacy Greens in Kitchener on King Street. Jordan says she's seen an increase in business despite all of the iron construction.
Businesses had steady growth. It definitely was a risk to open during construction, but I think it was also an opportunity. There were a lot of vacant retail spaces, and we actually opened for 6 months as a pop-up shop. So convincing a landlord to open as a pop-up shop for a 6-month lease was a lot easier during a time of construction where there wasn't as much demand for retail. So that was a definite opportunity for us. There were a lack of grocery options in the downtown core at the time, so we were really able to build a clientele base, and we're still here today.
Why do you think your company is doing better than some of the others who are talking about being affected by the iron construction?
I think because we opened during construction, we don't have any point of reference in terms of a clientele pre-construction. Had we opened maybe 5 years ago, we might have developed, shoppers that were coming to us by car. We don't have that at all. 90% of our customers are probably walking here because they live close by or they work close by. Less than 10% of people are commuting by car, and I think that really makes a difference for our business. But I also think with the widespread construction all over the region, people are looking for convenience. And I think that's where we come into play too. If we can save you a stop on your way home from work and you can pop in here on your lunch hour and grab all the produce you might need for the next few days, that's going to be convenient for you and it's going to save you time. And that's a way to sort of get around the construction, is making fewer stops and making maybe more stops at your local kind of community and supporting the small businesses in it. We're really lucky to be on King Street. I would really feel for the businesses, and I think my business would suffer if I was on Charles or Duke. We're on the corner of King and Queen, and we've had closures both on Queen and King, but because we're so close to the intersection, we're still getting really good foot traffic in our area, and I'm so grateful for that.
King Street, certain parts are definitely closed down, so any tips for finding good parking spots?
Sure, like if I have to drive downtown Kitchener all the time because we're constantly bringing produce to the shop. My first kind of what I look for is there a space on King Street, because there's 2-hour free parking there. So if there's not a place on King Street, I usually park in the Benton and Charles Street Parkade or the Duke Street Parkade. And most retailers in downtown Kitchener have 2-hour vouchers to give to customers, so that's a really easy way, and there's usually always space in those parkades. Close to our store too, there's a parking lot right behind us on Gowdy's Lane that has 2-hour parking for about $4.25. So I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think paying for parking is that big of a deal either. Other people feel a little more rage, I think, if they can't find free parking. But to me, I feel like you should pay for parking. It costs money to upkeep parking lots. And if you can make it here by bike or by walking, I think that's even, or transit, it's even better.
Once light rail transit is complete, Grand Link, the region's public-private partner, will maintain ION over the next 30 years. To stay up to date on all of the ION construction closures, visit rideion.ca. For Rogers TV, I'm Carly Verhoeven.